Alright everybody, welcome to Lacy Range today, this wonderful Sunday afternoon. Today we're going to have a shootout between the G43 and the SVT 40. We're going to call it the Eastern Front Shootout. We'll confirm at 100 yards and then we'll move out to 300 yards shooting at the NRA targets, just like you shoot on the vintage sniper. And sort of what I'm doing here, I really believe that the K43 or G43 is ready for Anniston to go down there and shoot. I'd really like to see the SVT 40, make sure it's ready to go, and we'll just see how they group. We're shooting the 46.5 grains of IMR 4895 and the G43 under a 200 grain quantity match bullet. The SVT here is shooting the Sierra Match Kings 174 grains on top of 46 grains of IMR 4895. So they're both running right at the same velocity. We'll even take some velocity readings today and check that. Just check my extreme spreads, make sure I'm holding in there. All my ammo is pretty much loaded on the Dillon 550s. So we'll go with that and we'll see what they can do. We'll do a 5 group at 100 yards. Got the chronograph out. We'll show you that here in just a minute. And I've also got the shoot and see video. We'll take a look at that too before the video is over. But here we go, SVT 40 Tula with a 174 grain Sierra bolt tails, IMR 4895. 46.5 grains, PPU brass, CCI primers. Pretty good. We'll walk down, take a look since this is at 100 yards, and we'll also get a video of the velocity on it. So with that, let's go ahead and move forward. Guns clear, action open. Alright, one thing you always want to try to do when you're taking a chronograph, and you do want to use your chronograph as often as you can. Check your loads to stay consistent, because we all know that we are capable of messing up when you're reloading. But what I like to do is, of course, put the date. Today's 30th December. It's a nice beautiful day out here. I keep a book with all this in there, and it is 49 degrees here in Paris, Tennessee. We have humidity at 64%. Fantastic, and the pressure is 30.08. Alright, I record that, then I record what the rifle is. And we fired 5 rounds, so what I'll do is capture the data on the 5 rounds, get the average, get the extreme spread, and also get the group size. and record that. Alright. This is the Super Chrono, which uses sound to record. I like it a whole lot better than the regular, ones that use the bullets shade going over it. And what we got right here, alright, round number 5 was 2014-14. Then 24-27. And 24-44. 24-34. And 24-67. And giving us an average of 2,437 feet per second. And as I'm looking right here, alright, I got extreme spread of 53 feet per second. I'll hit reset on that. And then we'll go down at 100 yards and take a look at the group.
Now,
my first 2 shots were up high, and then the group settled down lower there. And on the extreme spread, we're looking at, that is a 5-inch group. So, not that good. But, like I say, I've been working on the bedding. Oh, I hadn't told you about this, but I have been working on the bedding. I have noticed this as being an issue with the Torque-Roffs, and it is also written about in the historical articles about the first round impacts shifting. When we go to 300, we'll see if it still continues to do the same thing. Of course, at 500, at 300 yards, that 5-inch group will be a 15-inch group. So we'll see if that holds true or if it does better. And just for everybody to know, with a 4-power scope, I can see that center right there, and that's what my aiming point right here. So, and also I've shot this at the Henry County range, where we are famous for vintage snipers. But shooting from the prone and then shooting from a bench, there's a slight little change of how you look through the scope. Somebody would probably tell you it shouldn't be, but we noticed that there is. I always like to finalize everything when I go out there to the gun club, because when we shoot our vintage sniper matches, we shoot from the prone. So I like to leave it like that. So I won't mess with the scope any at all. All right, let's go back up and we'll shoot the G43.
Go.
Okay, we got 5 rounds loaded up for the G43 or K43 mag. Correction from earlier, I am shooting a 196 grain Hornady match. Bullets over 47 grains of IMR 4895. Alright, and we'll see what we got. And of course the ZFK, got it set on 1, and we should be ready to go. Photograph ready. Alright, now the point on the ZFK is a whole lot blunter than what it is on the SVT 40. A little bit harder to shoot with. Of course, shooting at a man, it wouldn't be too bad, but when you're shooting at something little, this is tough. So here we go. Okay, as you can notice, 200 grains bullet, get a little bit back out of it. And this weapon does have a shooter's kit on it, if anybody's wondering. Yes, it is highly collectible. Wait till you see this grip. Okay, bolt is back. Everything operated fine. Let's go see what the chronograph has to say on it. Okay, once again, I'm writing down G43 with ZF4, and let's see, we've got mark what my last group was. Okay, right now, first, round number 5, 2509, 4, 2542, 2545, 2536, and 2604. And with the average of 2545. Alright, let me reset that. And then we'll look here. Very extremely. Got a 95 feet per second spread on this. Let's walk down and see what the groups are. Alright, let's pull out the trusty tape here. And as you can see, now my point of aim was right there. This was a much blunter point than the SVT 40 has. But we look right here. I'll go to the other side of it and then stop right there. Looks like a 3 1/4 inch group. Though G43. I'll keep these targets. I'll put the data, as you can see, down at the bottom. Okay. Now that G43 right now can probably run at Aniston. That'll shoot with most, or maybe even a little bit better than most of the M1Cs and Ds. The SVT 40, once you got out to 600, I don't know, that wouldn't look good. But like I said, I've been working on the bedding on that. I think that's the main issue with the SVT 40s. Now, if you turn and look right down the range here, we're gonna move to 300 yards, and then you can see it sitting back in the woods. Like I say, it's standard NRA SR3 center, so we'll try that, and just give us just a few minutes to move down. Okay, here we go. G43 ZF4 scope set on 300, shooting at an SR3 center at 300 yards, and see what she does. Everything felt good. Continue on with it. Alright, looking on my screen here, it looks like it's going a little bit right. But my elevation's pretty good. Uh-oh. Alright, failure to pick up a round. there we go, 5 rounds. Can't really see on. Yeah, I see a few holes. Yeah, I think we're gonna be all right. All right, so we'll go down to the target here at 300 yards and see what we got. Take the good old tape measure with us. All right.
3.
Okay, we'll continue to take chronograph results. Doing it for the 300-yard target. So we'll do the same thing again. See what we got. Okay, 2509. 2470. 2506. 2516. And 2500. Judging by this, the original German load was running at 2,500 feet per second. So, like I say, I've been saying this for a long time. The 47 grains of IMR 4895 is a good approximation of their load. And now, the extreme spread's a little bit off today. You know, because I done all my testing in a K98 bolt action. You know, the velocity was a little bit higher than it, and the extreme spread was quite a bit lower. And of course, all those rounds when I did the last test, they were all, of course, I was working up on the load, so they're all loaded using each one measured exactly. These are just run through the Dillon 550, which is plenty enough at 500 yards, or even 600 yards. All right, our average 2,500 feet per second. And let's see our extreme spread. .46, which is much better than what we had there. Okay, let's go on down and let's look, and then we got to shoot the SVT 40. Now here we are at 300 yards, and we shot this group with the G43. And just so everybody knows, my point of aim, I'm putting the very tip of the ZF4 right here on the black. Similar to what I would do at Anniston. And as we can see, let's see, we got 110, 2 9s, an 8, and a 7 right out of the gate. Now let's see which one's going to be the okay, roughly 13.5 inches. So, still running a 4 MOA group, pretty much. Pretty happy with that. You know, like I say, if it was a K98, my 30-06, 1903 A1 with the Untitled, hey, you know, it can keep them all in there real easy. But you know, we're talking semi-automatic. Generally, I think, don't hold me to this, but it seems like the record at Anniston is, or with the CMP, is like 286, something like that, with a vintage semi-automatic. So they are definitely not running 199s or anything like that. You know, out of the score for individual. But like I said, I can live with that. We'll head back now. We'll shoot the SVT. I'll do the same thing, point and aim. Now, if you remember from the 100-yard group, the G43 was up high above the point of aim. The SVT 40 dropped down. So probably to keep me up, based on what it did at 100, I will probably set the scope around 350, and that should, aiming right here, it should move it on up. And we'll go ahead and cover these holes up. Okay, here we go with SVT 40, 300 yards, SR 3C target, and let's see what she can do. I've got the scope set on 3.5. Don't change the windage. one of the nice things about the torque rock is you're able to adjust the gas system. And as you can see on this one, it throws it nice and steady just right out in front of the weapon. Doesn't beat the crap out of you. And looking at the target here, I'm going to assume I'm in the black. I cannot. The brightness of my thing up in a high enough, but we'll go ahead and shoot. Uh-oh. I was just looking at that. That might have went ahead and went off. We'll see what it does. Here we'll go ahead and load it. Yeah, it's full. I should have left it alone. The trigger pull on this one is decent. I mean, it's probably running every bit of 6 pounds, but you can squeeze through it. And it'll sort of surprise you when it goes off, just like you want to be. Okay, we'll take the one round, stick it right there. I don't think nothing's wrong with it. Just look like I didn't think the breech was closed all the way. I do see one dropped out of the bottom right there. I'm assuming the rest over in the black. So we'll have to go down and just check it. One thing about these, I've got 2 torque rocks here. I'm definitely a lover of Russian weapons. Got this not too long ago, but the other one I've had for many years. Once the gas set on them, they generally do not give you any problems. Feed them good ammo. I do not like firing surplus ammo anymore through any of them. I still got a bunch, but normally I'm shooting hand loads. Hand loads give you great consistency. I can zero my sights, and you know, if I'm here 20 years from now, I'll still be shooting the same place, loading the same powder. So that definitely hand loads is the way to go. Surplus, you know, you get some from Russia, it shoots one spot, and the next, Bulgarian, it shoots somewhere else, and then of course you always got to clean everything after you get done. And I'm sort of famous for not liking to clean them. Not every time. I like to take care of it. I don't like cleaning. Okay, here we go. Round number 5. 2434. 2408. 2437, 2437, and 2404. So it looks like we got an extreme spread of 30, or no, correction, 33, which is fantastic. Our average is 24. Alright, now we can go down here and see what the group size is. Okay, we're down here at 300 yards. The SVT 40, which may be a little hard to see, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see I got a little bit of vertical stringing. My windage is perfect though. Remember I told you the sight set on 350. Of course, I'll have to confirm this when I go back out to the 600 and we shoot this laying prone. I'm not going to change anything right now, but if I'd had it on 400, we would have moved it right up here. And I would say it sort of redeemed itself. That's an 8.5-inch group right there. At 300 yards, that's just slightly over 2 MOA. But you can't complain. And definitely outdid the G43 ZFK combo at 300. So we'll go up, we'll cover these up, and then we'll head back up. That'll conclude our shooting today with those rifles. And we'll talk a little bit more about the ammo, and then also talk a little bit more about the guns. Okay, SVT 40 here, we'll start off talking about it just a little bit more. Of course, this model right here, this is a Tula, 1941. And for y'all that's not versed on the markings of the SVT 40, you'll see Tula star right there, 1941. Serial number off to the side right here. You can see where the stocks had numerous repairs when the Russians redone these. See also the same number into the stock. We turn it over, you see that the trigger guard or trigger group has been force matched. The magazine does not match, but works fine. The bolt, as you can see on the handle right there, has been force matched. And go through there, looking for any other markings. If you go down right here, this is where you adjust your gas port. This is set on 3 and 1.3. Front sight, of course, is drift adjustable, and then also just like an AK of today. This has the earlier muzzle brake, which does a fantastic job. I always like the SVT 40 cleaning rod because it's locked in. All you got to do is push a button right there and it will come right out. So you can see it has a retaining ring right there. Much better than screwing in and out. Now let me lower the bolt on this. So you can see right here the magazine release folds back for normal use. Then when you need to take it out, pop. And then you release it forward. As you can see right here, chamber is empty, bolt forward. Of course, with this one being plumb, you know it's been rehabbed by the Russians, where these were originally in the white. Now the scope mount, I'm sure you're wondering about the scope mount right here. This is, I did not buy this scope mount from the manufacturer. This came when I bought the gun. As you can see, I've had to put set screws into it, both sides. Now my issue with it, if we come over here, if I can set it up, is there wasn't, it would just flop. You could take it and twist it back to side. So while you were shooting it, one round it'd be over here, the next round would be over here, and you know the elevation tended to stay the same because the rails that are made into the action can allow or take care of your horizontal movement. But vertical, man, sorry, not vertical, but the vertical movement is set by the rails. The horizontal movement would fly back and forth. So the set screws are holding it in there. Of course, that's not an original mount, so no loss there. The pin, I do have the pin in, and let me tell you, on this particular one, I mean, I've got a little spacer in there. It really didn't have to do nothing to the receiver. But I do want you to know this is not a real sniper. Now, one thing to give you before everybody goes nuts on all that, at Henry County Gun Club we do vintage sniper down there. We do not do the normal CMP, the Civilian Marksmanship Program match. We actually shoot steel all the way out to 700, or if we're shooting at Dr. Tusa's range, we go out to 1,200 yards. So these are made. This one right here is made to compete, or I'm working on it to compete. So don't get all nuts about messing up a original gun. It is a nice gun. I haven't done nothing to it yet that I can't fix myself and have it back original. As you can see, this is the original SVT scope. 1940. It's been rehabbed, as you can see from the markings right there. Okay, now you can see also right here it has the CB mark that has changed the elevation to match up with the Soviet Mosin-Nagant PU. You know, I'm not gonna split hairs. It works. I ain't had any problem for the ranges we're shooting. So if they did make a drastic change to it, and I think you'll notice from our ballistics today that the SVT 40 is running slower than a PU or a PEM would be running, bolt action, the velocity out of it. Now let me put this back up, and we'll go to the G43 here. I don't want to lose my pointer right there. Alright, this is a G43 while they're made. Original CFK scope, as you can see right there, DDX. The Soviets answer to the scope that's right there on top of Tokarev. Now the little bit different on it, your elevation is controlled on the side right here, which I've got set on 3. I'll go back to 1. And your windage is controlled by this right here, which I have it set at 0 there. Alright, now this scope, compared to this one, I still have to give the kudos to the PU scope. Much better pointer, a little bit wider field of view, but the ZFK is not a bad scope, at least not that I've dealt with it so far. Of course, in the reproduction mount, a lot of people complain about them not fitting right. This one had no problem. I just took a file to the inside, just cleaned it up just a little bit, and went right on there. Now, when you walk over to here, you can see the markings here. This is a G43, while they're made, AC 44. I think I said 43 earlier, but it's 44. You can see the markings on the magazine right there. See the markings on the bolt. No markings on the trigger guard. You can see barely there, but you can see the matching number on the buttstock. This is a laminated stock. This is a reproduction sling, and a reproduction cleaning rod. Everything else is original on it. It's a fine shooting gun. When you pop the magazine, you got a magazine release right there. 10-round magazine. Just hit her right there. Right here, this bolt to hold open is used in the disassembly. There's videos on the internet about that, and the Tokarev. I won't get into that right now. We're just mainly concentrating on the shooting side. But a fine weapon. It's got a good feel to it. Feels good in your hand. No bayonet lug, nothing to worry about there. Safeties right here on the rear. I should have showed you on the SVT the safety on it. Butt plate in the back here. But just a fine, feels good. I think it definitely could have been anything that the Grand is today. A little bit of time. Now they are definitely overgassed, way overgassed. Just for kicks, I shot a few rounds to it without the shooter's kit. And I'm sitting here at the bench. We've got a barn. If you want to show them the distance to the barn right over there, well, it would definitely throw the brass halfway to the barn, and it is a good 25 yards over there, and it would definitely toss it. Now, if you would show them the 300-yard target down there. with that, we have John Brewer coming up. So we'll continue on later, but we'll post this, and if you got any remarks, put them down at the bottom. Thank you.